Hello, hello. Welcome to Confidence Through Cabaret. My name is Heather, and I'm so excited that you are here this Tuesday, and we are talking Let's Get Personal. So let me ask you, are you a giver or are you a receiver? Maybe you're both. Hopefully you're both. Let me just move this microphone a little bit closer. So today on personal life, I wanted to spend some time talking about, I guess it comes down to whether we feel deserving. Some of us prefer to be, giving to others, and that's what feels good for us. Some of us prefer to be, thinking of others, and that's wonderful, and that's so kind, and hopefully in your world that's very appreciated. But some of us are not, if we're givers, at least we're not good at receiving, and what happens when that happens is that we sometimes it's because we don't feel worthy, or we don't feel deserving, or we don't feel our own self-love. But what happens is that others don't get to give to us. And when you are someone who is always giving, then others want to give back. At least some others want to give back to you. And if we are not in a place of receiving, if we don't feel deserving or we don't feel worthy, then we can deny other people their chance to give to us. And if we're givers, we know how good that feels to be a giver. Some of us are better at receiving. And when we're better at receiving, then it's wonderful, because we give the gift of letting others give to us. I enjoy somebody who enjoys receiving, because it feels good. I've gone to a lot of thought or effort. I put energy into, causing someone else to feel good. And I appreciate when they appreciate it, or when they are happy to receive it, or when they feel better because of receiving it, or when it means something to them because they've received it. Any overextended strength becomes our weakness. So if we are always giving and we're not good at receiving, we are denying others, and we're denying ourselves. And if we're receivers, or our bias is for receiving, then we get really good at receiving, and it can turn into expectation. It can turn into, well, but you always do this. What's happened now? Why am I not? Why are you no longer giving? I expect that this is what you always do, and so I just expect it. And we can sometimes take that for granted. And of course, those pros and cons are worth reflecting on for ourselves, because if we feel overly deserving, it leads to feeling entitled. And if we don't feel deserving enough, it can lead to us feeling unworthy or undeserving. So I wanted to share with you today, I have probably been both. I have been good at receiving things like support from others in my younger days, and been let down. I expected, it always happens, and then I'm let down when it doesn't. And I just took it for granted. I think I did that with my parents. I think a lot of us do that with our parents when we're growing up. If we're in that kind of household where our parents are always giving, I think I did that too much with my children. I don't think that they. I don't think that they. I think they. It's not. This is not a bad intention, but I think with children, if you're always solving problems and you're always looking after things and you're always doing things for them, and you do that too much, they just expect it. They expect that their school bag is packed, or their homework and their lunch and their all the things that their gym kit and whatever else they're going to need. um, and then they stop thinking for themselves. And of course, as parents, most of us would rather that didn't happen to our children. We'd want them to be able to think for themselves. We'd want them to be able. We'd want them to be independent. I mean, that's the heartbreak and the joy of parenting, right? So I think I've done that with my children sometimes. I have to try very hard because my youngest is nearly 20, and I have to try very hard not to try and solve everything for them. I support them solving it now, but I think I'm a little bit late on that giving. In terms of my own personal self, I'm not good at receiving. Um, I, I just, um, I tend to either make some sort of a joke if it's a compliment, like, oh yeah, that's just, yeah, it's not today, but oh yeah, it's just a good hair day. It's just, it's not really how it normally is, or oh yeah, you should have seen me earlier, or that, I'll tend to kind of fob it off. I am really good at uh, kind of flipping the compliment around and making it sort of, oh yeah, no, this was in the sale, or no, that's for ages. Yeah, I don't know, it used to look better, or it used to, and I'll kind of talk down their compliment. And at the time that feels like it's very, you know mm, natural. But when you think about it, when you give somebody a compliment and you really mean it, when you give a gift of some sort of, whether it's your time or your energy or your knowledge or your experience, or a literal physical gift, then if you've gone to that effort and energy to share that gift, wouldn't it be nice if somebody received it graciously? It'd be nice if somebody simply said, thank you. I appreciate that. I needed to hear that. I enjoy that. So I try really hard now to override that voice in my head, because I'm an extrovert. I say this all the time on here. I'm an extrovert, so words just come out of my mouth, and the first time I'm hearing them is when they come out of my mouth. So I'm trying to do a pattern interrupt with the kind of dialogue in my head and go, wait, that was really nice. Show appreciation before you make the smart aleck comment. Interrupt that and change it. And what is nice is that it's nice for other people to be able to give to you. When COVID hit and we were first in lockdown in the UK, at least, which was March of 2020, I really struggled to give or receive, and I just shut it all off. I didn't want to hear good things, even if I'd done something extra that day. And by extra, I mean, even if I had managed to get up, get showered, get dressed, and do something in the house, or, get something finished. Painting the kitchen took months. It was ridiculous. It's a small kitchen. And, and I really struggled I didn't want to hear, you're doing well, keep going. And I certainly didn't want to hear any criticism. I wanted to shut that off. And that's fine. But then we need to be the giver and receiver for ourselves. We need to be saying to ourselves, you did that well. Even if it's, you got out of bed and you got dressed today, you did that. And so we don't compare ourselves to other people, but we do, but we shouldn't. We compare ourselves to yesterday, better than we were yesterday. And we take small steps to building and growing. And then when I got more regular at those small steps, then it became a lot easier to see what else I could do and how I wanted to connect with people. And I did a lot of giving. I mean, most days, certainly most evenings, I was on the phone or on Zoom with people who wanted to share their experiences. And usually they were uncomfortable or not so happy experiences of how things were going for them or what was happening in their life. And my background, and I've been a coach for many years, but I am an empath, and so I had to recognize I'm giving and I'm giving and I'm giving and I'm quickly getting drained again. So I needed my boundary to say, okay, I need switch off time. I need a point when I need to cut off. I want to be here for you. I want to give for you, but I can't do it. And this is the first time I had thought of that, because I'd had all unlimited energy before being locked in. But once I got my strength back and my perspective back and my energy and my focus, I had to preserve it. And so being an overgiver, being a very strong empath, being someone who allows others to take energy, being someone who gives energy all the time, I realized that I had a limited amount, at least at that time in that context. And I just couldn't do as much as I would have liked to, in terms of listening and being there and night after night and day after day, helping other people. I certainly couldn't have showed up on YouTube each day. I definitely couldn't have written a blog and done a podcast and done master classes for our website, which is confidencerecabaret.com. Go and check it out. Everything is on the landing page, like our podcast, our video logs, our blog, everything is on the landing page. It's fantastic. I mean, you can go, I'll come back to my point in a second. You can go on your onto YouTube or onto IGTV. You can go onto podcasts anywhere you get your podcasts. You can go, you can find all the content in the relevant place. It's all Confidence Through Cabaret. But if you go to confidencerecabaret.com, you can find all of this. But I couldn't have shown up every day, 7 days a week, to share content, to receive gifts of other people sharing. I mean, we just did a happiness masterclass the other day, and Emily Oliver was so generous. I didn't even have words like thank you, just wasn't enough, but it's if I wasn't able to receive, then I can't share that with you. If you're not able to receive, then you can't use that information and share with others. That's how this works. We need to find that balance, and that starts with you finding yourself in a position to give to yourself, and that starts with you being in a position to receive from yourself. So Confidence Through Cabaret, we always say start from where you're strong. So think about, where do you feel good? What are you doing well today? Interrupt your day several times and say something nice to yourself. You don't have to do it in a video or into a mirror. Just say something nice to yourself. Interrupt your day often and say something that you're grateful for. I mean, I every night I say I'm so grateful for my warm bed, and I'm so grateful for my house, because it protects me and keeps me warm and keeps me safe in this time that we're living in. So interrupt your day, check in with yourself, and make sure that you give to yourself the gift of kind, compassionate, genuine, authentic thanks and worthiness. And then share it with others. Give it to yourself, receive it, and then share it. If you aren't in that place, then reach out to people. Reach out to your friends or your family who will support you. Tell them that you look for support, that you're needing some right now. And trust me, I am not someone who says that lightly, because I neither like to accept or ask for help. So I'm getting better at it every day. I'm getting a little bit better at it every day. I'm trying to ask for something without cringing, but I am trying, and we all need to be showing up for ourselves. So ask for help. Let somebody know how you're doing. Let somebody else know what you need. I have a son who is struggling right now with a lot of anxiety and depression from lockdown and so on. And once he spoke about it, and it wasn't easy, but once he did speak about it, then it's like it's out there. It's like it's cleared space in his body. And now, because he's cleared space in his body, he can look for ways and people that will support him. And I know my son well. He has a very kind heart. I know that he shares that with others as well. But if he doesn't ask for help and receive it, he'll always be giving until he's drained. Because unfortunately, that's kind of how I taught him. I mean, yeah, if I had my time again, right? But I think, we all need to be setting examples for one another, especially at this time. So share and spread your gifts, share and spread your kindness. Show up here with me every day. Make comments below. Join our Facebook community. We're on Confidence Through Cabaret. We love to hear how people are doing. We love to support and uplift one another. We deserve to feel good in our body. We deserve to be expressive in whatever way serves us, and we deserve to share our stories and our gifts. Thank you for joining me. Check out all the Confidence Through Cabaret on all the socials, and the website is .com. And Twitter is at YBYWYS. And on Clubhouse, I am at Heather YBYWYS. I will start hosting rooms soon. See, now I've just said that. I will need to do that. I keep saying, yeah, I'll do a room on Clubhouse. But I do actually need to do that. I would love to have a club. I aspire to having a club and being involved and collaborating. We love to collaborate on Confidence Through Cabaret. So reach out. Our Twitter and Clubhouse. So I'm at Heather YBYWYS on Clubhouse, and Twitter is at YBYWYS, because it is your body. And it is your world, and it's your stage. Thank you for joining. Thank you, thank you, thank you.